Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Uncanny Contemplation, where we look into the macabre nightmare of our reality and realities beyond this one through art and gaming. I'm poetfox, and I'm joined once again by the Hobo King himself, Armadox.
Hello.
And we are once again joined by the greatest doctor to ever live, Jake Huntington, who last time joined a cult and got to see some titty. I guess that's all you need. I guess.
I like how he started out as the prisoner and just kind of like moseyed his way into the cult.
I like how the cult's indoctrination strategy is just like, just come in here and sit in this room with topless women while everybody talks about philosophy for 3 weeks or whatever.
We're just like you,
Yeah.
British. Oh yeah, that's right.
No,
Look
we're
at Chinese.
definitely British, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway, we'll continue our plague, I guess. Do you want to do that?
Oh yeah. Get the playthrough started.
Yeah, we better. Okay. Let's see where we were last time.
Uh, Actually, are we even paying attention to the plague now? Like we just spent the latter half of last session doing nothing but sitting in a prison cell and joining a cult.
I mean, that's true, but in theory, the cult is the one making the plague, I thought? To, like, take over the world or control it or something?
Yeah, I don't think they're making the plague. I think they're just trying to control the political
Let's
downside of it.
let's take a look at our notes. Let's see. Its members are several. You wound up in what seems to be a London private club, but its members are several bare-chested men and women wearing only a skirt and mask to cover their faces. The purpose is to carry out a plan to conquer the world. See?
Oh,
Yeah. Let's see. And we think the only club member that talks to you is a man, even with the mask altering his voice, speaks in a clear German accent. We think is Meyer. Yeah. All right. Well, how are we doing on stats right now? Okay. We're getting close to maxing out our speechcraft. In fact, we have enough to put another point in speechcraft. I guess we better. Oh, no, almost enough. But you know what we definitely don't have? Agility. Barely any fighting. Medicine. Our medicine's been lagging behind since we've decided to be a terrible doctor, so we haven't really been putting any points in it. You know what? We have exactly enough EXP to up our observation. Let's do that. How else are we going to Scooby-Doo it through this?
I know, right?
Alright. Wait. Does it say... Okay. Our profession is medical researcher. I guess we're no longer a soldier. And marital status is widower. Does that mean we could have been married by now? Who knows? Anyway, this chapter is called Strategies for Judgment Day. Your study seems small to you now, cold and foreign. There's no topless women in it. Or any kind of, like, expensive whiskeys or anything that they were serving you there. It's weird. Your encounter with the sect has made everything from your own reality appear fake. Please put me back in the jail cell. You pick up a photographic portrait of Helen, our wife, looking for something to hold on to, but even her memory seems distant now. That's right. We have a cult now. We don't need our dead wife. Zanzibar, the epidemic. Delft, in the meeting with the sect. Darkness has begun to consume your very life. It all seems completely insane. Ironically, the only coherent thing in all this chaos is the bizarre cult itself. Yes, the cult is the only thing that makes sense. Work with the cult, yes. Reflecting on recent events, you think it increasingly likely that the Germans who gave you the money are members of this cult. It would be a logical assumption. Thus, whether you like it or not, you've already collaborated with them. Yeah, that's true. After this thought, you have another, which makes you angry. You cannot help but feel that you have been at the mercy of events beyond your control. You've been controlled and used it as a tool. You must somehow regain control of your life. You only have 3 more days before you must meet the sect again. You must prepare yourself. You toy with the thought of accepting their proposal. Why should it be so absurd? You pace the house, thinking, trying to clear your head when you notice a letter on the table in the hall. The envelope is entirely blank. You pick it up with a curious sense of expectation. Dear Jake, unfortunately my warnings proved to be of little use. As I write, I understand that you have been taken captive by the mad Hastelic cult. Hastelic cult. Why are you writing me at my house if you know I'm with the cult?
I know, right?
They will not harm you, at least not physically, and they will not keep you locked up for long. Their sole purpose is to seduce you and bend you to their will. Oh, okay. The words of this mysterious informant seem almost in mockery, and your initial reaction is to throw the letter into the fire. Because you've been so seduced already. Firstly, the letter speaks definitively of a cult, the religious implications of which disturb you greatly. And secondly, it mentions a peculiar name completely unfamiliar to you. Who or what is Hastelic? Well, we got 6 experience points for thinking about that, so that's nice.
I joined a cult I didn't even know the name of. Interesting.
Yeah. We added a note. We wrote down Hastelic. This is the name of the cult. We wrote that in our notes. Good job. The comet approaches, and they are hurrying. This is to our advantage, Jake. With your intelligence and your strength, it will not be easy for them to brainwash you. I mean, okay. I guess not. I know, too, that you are to meet with them shortly for your initiation. Another piece of information. Yeah, another piece of information that sounds absurd. We're calling it ancient and primitive beliefs and superstitions. A comet. Oh, the comet is the part that's absurd. Okay. There's never been a comet before, and there's never been cults that take a look at comets, ever.
Hey, buddy, I was locked in this prison for like 6 weeks, and you knew I was there because you know all this information. Why didn't you come get me?
Yeah, I know, right? If you have not yet been corrupted by their influence, this way may well be your best chance. You could have stopped me from being corrupted, but you didn't, so now I'm very corrupted, and I love it. It would be an ideal moment to deal a decisive blow. Could perhaps even destroy them. This time, you could have some support, however. Hang a strip of white cloth from your window to let me know. A friend. You reflect on the letter's contents. Most of all, you are wondering whether the informant really does have your best interest at heart. Okay, do we want to burn the letter? It says, throw the letter into the fire. The informant wants to brainwash you too. Everyone wants to brainwash us. Or we agree we must stop this cult.
I mean, they didn't help us when we were trapped within the cult. They are exactly not our friend. But alternatively, are we still the good guy? Like,
I don't know. I feel like there's been very few parts in this story where we've been necessarily good, but that's also because we're looking on it from a future perspective of how bad colonialism is.
Fair enough. What do you think? Should we should we actually attempt to not help the cult? We know they're out to get, bad results.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough choice, actually.
Huntington.
Like, what have we been doing? Like, well, okay, we did do some token resistance against the cult, if I remember correctly. We punched a dude, and he's like, "Hey, back off, man."
That's true. We did attempt to not join the cult for a long time. Yeah. Let's put one thing out. Let's Let's try to take the cult
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, here's under achievements. We did not achieve Stockholm Syndrome because we tried to rebel during our imprisonment. So we didn't get this the coveted Stockholm Syndrome achievement. Okay, we're going to agree that they must be stopped. I mean, honestly, I don't know why we would burn it. Like, this guy's obviously doing something. Don't we want to talk to him either way? I don't know.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that we should attempt to at least see who our friend is, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
That's
Finding
right.
a friend.
Yeah. More friends, the better. You reread the letter. You are unsure as to whether or not this mysterious informant can be trusted, but it seems clear that you have a common enemy, that which he calls the cult of Hastalik. The cult is a threat. You are still unclear as to its intentions and objectives, but you now know that something must be done to stop it. Always consider yourself a man of principle. And this is not a time to back down. However, it would be unreasonable to assume you can act effectively only by yourself. Oh, okay. So, alright, we can call on Smith, we can call on Reginald, or we can handle this alone. So some
Smith as a kid. We shouldn't bring Smith in.
reminders of who we're talking about here. Okay. Captain Smith is our captain. Yeah, he does have a kid, it's true. Reginald Chambers is our gourmand friend, who we took with us because he wanted to eat a lot of food. Remember that guy?
Not the one that was the cook that got shot, right?
No.
He died.
He's very dead. Yes, he died in Zanzibar. Although if he was alive, maybe we could call on him too. I don't know, but
The game has multiple paths.
it does. Well,
I wonder if they expected us to specifically be better at fighting to make this thing kind of work. We've definitely went the long way around when it comes to skills.
again, we picked a path where speechcraft and observation and nothing else. So, okay. So, again, Smith did promise to help us with anything we might need because we saved his son's life. Reginald is just a nice man. Last thing we did, though, is we, tricked him into taking a boat home without us so that we could be all weird. So there might be some awkwardness there.
Oh, man. I don't want to take Smith, but I think Smith's probably the best route because he does owe us one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take Smith. You call a hansom cab and have it taken to the address which Smith gave you. On arrival at the front door, you suddenly feel worried. How will your old captain react to what you have to tell him? In the event, Smith appears straight away and opens the door with an unusually jovial smile. He shakes your hand vigorously with a sweeping motion, gestures you inside. As you continue to stare at the cup of tea in your hands, but which you have not yet sipped, you recount the incredible story of your encounter with the cult. Finally, you explain what it is you intend to do. Oh, we got an achievement for bringing Smith in, apparently.
Oh, he's gonna die.
The kept promise. You got Smith's contribution to the war against the cult. You're ready to face the cult, but you won't be alone. Smith is ready to help you. Okay, great. Smith listens in silence to your every word. While you are speaking, he does not seem particularly credulous, but when you have finished, he makes no comments to that effect. He owes you that much. You arrange a time and a place to meet and shake hands once more. You are pleased that you were able to garner support for what you have to do. Alone, you might have even given up or done something unwise. You prepare yourself for the contemplation. You try to mentally draw up a plan to turn everything into a logical sequence of actions and events. Not only to be able to act more effectively, but also to anticipate any unexpected weaknesses. If you want to succeed, you will have to be as calculating as possible. You ascend the stairs and get ready to put the agreed signal at the window. Despite not fully trusting your ally, you do believe he is hostile to the cult. To the the kilpt. To the kilpt. The cooped. The words. Anyway, as the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy. This image here of him putting the, like, white cloth in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just assumed you'd be like, oh, I'm just going to, like, drape this over something so it's not conspicuous. But literally this picture is, like, he's literally, like, tied a handkerchief to, like, a rope that's hanging from the ceiling in front of the window.
I'd like to make this a flag.
It's like the most awkward thing. Like, there's no way you could say that I'm not doing this as some kind of secret signal. Like, maybe if you were in Japan and this would be one of those little weather dolls. It almost looks like that. There's someone at the door. Only one night has passed since you hung the signal at the window. You open the door to find a messenger. He's a stocky black man with a penetrating eye. Actually, with two penetrating eyes. And he's holding a package. As soon as he's given it to you, he is gone without even waiting for a tip. Not even waiting for a tip. Wow. You slowly open the strange box containing various items and a note. The note details certain chemicals to be purchased, and there are instructions for assembling the whole into a small explosive. Oh, okay. So we're just gonna make we're gonna anarchist cookbook this, I guess. You not need any further explanation.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. Okay, it's a medicine check to build a bomb. I don't know why it's a medicine check, but our medicine's not great. I sure hope we don't blow ourselves up making this bomb.
It's going to be a very short stream.
Oh, we failed.
Oh.
You were sitting in your study, preparing to build a device by reading the instructions. You assemble the components, carefully mix the chemicals, and even more carefully pour them into the central part. This whole thing is a very delicate operation. It takes considerable time. Something isn't quite right. Some parts do not seem to connect properly. The final appearance is a slightly lopsided look. You're getting annoyed and also concerned about the mixed chemicals. It's useless. Something just isn't right. Try taking it apart and putting it back together, but the end result's even worse. We're messing up the IKEA furniture. He's like, why do I have all these extra dowels? What's going on? Your frustration rises. Enraged, you decide to take it apart yet again to start over, but you've already lost your patience. You break two components, and in a fit of rage, you break a third, throwing it to the ground and spilling some of the precious chemicals. It's useless. You're neither a chemist nor a mechanic. Assembly of the bomb is now out of the question. We failed an achievement. What's an achievement? Ready for war. You will have to rely only on your guns to face the cult, it says. Okay. It's gonna go great for us. After your failure of making the explosive, you decide to clean and load two pistols taken for your study. You check that they are working properly and conduct some experiments to see where you can most effectively conceal them. Maybe you should have done these checks before you loaded them. Just my hot take. Someone knocks the door. It's Smith. You invite him in and offer him some Dutch courage. Yeah, being drunk is a great way to go to war. While sipping your spirits, oh yeah,
and drunk and post bomb making.
Yeah, like don't mind all these scattered shards of bomb and noxious chemicals all over the place. Don't worry about it. Okay, we have an item, but the item is guns. Good, excellent.
With a Z?
No, this isn't Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, unfortunately. Ooh. While sipping your spirits, Smith shows you what he's hiding in a large bundle. A very strange rifle indeed. It's called a Madsen. It's a sort of portable machine gun. It's only a prototype, but I have my channels, and this, I imagine, is as good a time as any for a test. Okay, this chapter is called Mr. Huntington's Rebirth. Huntington's back, baby. No more being sad about our dead wife. We got guns.
We're gonna go shoot a bunch of cultists.
The moment has arrived, and you are unexpectedly calm. You're ready to do what needs to be done. Call a coach and prepare to go to the meeting point. You glimpse small snatches of London scenes through your carriage window as you pass. A part of you says goodbye, in case you should never see it again. Goodbye, London. Goodbye. Smith is sitting in front of you, silently smoking his pipe. He occasionally looks over at you, but you know he isn't going to interrupt your thoughts. He never looks out the window, and occasionally picks up his weapon in his hand and checks its parts thoroughly. For the first time in many months, you feel completely calm. You know now you're not crazy. Yeah. Moving to go shoot up a building is always a sign that you're not crazy. That's a good job. No longer feel the terrible weight of persecution, whether real or imagined. Instead, you have a clear purpose and a chance to put an end to the nefarious plans of an insidious monster. Okay. As per the instructions, you get out of the carriage a small distance from the actual meeting place. You think and pay the driver. For a moment you are suspicious. The driver's complexion is very dark, but you cannot be certain since it's getting dark. Okay. Try to get a better look at him. As he whips the horse into motion, he smiles, and you suddenly see his brilliant white teeth in contrast to his dark skin. Okay? You walk with Smith down the port towards the specified dock. Walk confidently. Both the pistols holstered on your lower back are well hidden and quite easy to reach. Your real advantage in this battle, however, will be your ability to stay calm. To this end, you cling to the image of Helen in your mind. Whatever happens, you know that this time her memory will give you perspective at least. At the dock, you see a man from the cult standing guard. You tell Smith to stay behind and wait for your signal. The man welcomes you. You give him the password, and he tells you to follow him. The warehouse stinks. Its gloomy interior is filled with damp, tangled ropes and boxes. Follow the man along a dark passageway, and then he moves aside a large trunk and opens a trap door to reveal a thin ladder going down. Okay. Oh, a thin ladder going down. With nobody in sight, you make short work of the man by grabbing his throat and strangling him silently.
Wait, our non-fighting, non-strength ability was able to like choke somebody out?
Oh yeah, easily apparently. Then you signal Smith. When he comes over, you exchange glances, and then you first go down the ladder. I like how you're not even going to like try to catch them off guard. You're just like, all right, well, we'll just start taking people out right now.
Yeah, we've decided to go full on guns blazing. This is
a great decision for our build. A few yards underground, you find yourself in a large chamber that looks like a temple, but not of any ancient civilization that you know. Doric columns, an altar, and the sound of water dripping and echoing complete the surreal scene. You feel as though you've entered a parallel world. Around you there are men and women wearing the by now familiar masks and kilts. On the altar there's a mask and kilt, presumably yours. Ooh, free kilt. Nice. The large men stand before the altar. You decide they must be the leaders. One of them gestures for you to come closer. As you walk, you feel hands upon you, gently stripping you of your blazer. The men on the altar are chanting strange litanies. You're hardly listening to them. It's time for you to act. Okay. So now it's time for us to jump into action. We've already murdered one man, but that was not jumping into action. Now is the time to jump into action. So, are we going to get free by shaking off these people who are undressing us and then just start blasting? Are we going to rush up to the 3 men that we've decided are the leaders of the cult and shoot them? Or are we just going to let them continue to undress us to buy time? I don't know what we're buying time for, but we can do that.
Do we have Smith behind us? Or like, yeah, what are we buying time for? This was not well thought out.
I think the buying time would make more sense if, say, we had set up a bomb, but we totally failed at that.
Buying time. Let's just go up there and be like, hi friend, blam. Just get the cultists.
All right, so let's
solve this problem ourselves.
So just rush up there and take out the leader.
Yeah.
All right. You leap forward, suddenly releasing yourself from the hands that were snatching at your clothes. The 3 men seem surprised as you pull out your pistols and shoot. 2 fall dead on the spot, and the 3rd is injured, possibly fatally, but he tries to take cover. The cultists are closing in on you.
Aha, we win.
You fire at any who come close, but somehow they manage to knock a pistol from your hands.
Oh no, we lose.
It says we lost an item. Let's see. Yeah, we no longer have guns. It's at this point Smith starts shooting the machine gun. It is impressive. It vomits bullets nonstop. It's making it sound like this, like that, with the bullets. Cutting through the bodies of cult members with ease. You are elated by the effectiveness of Swift's weapon, but also rather revolted by its devastating effect. I love this picture here of Smith, who has somehow had time to set up like a machine gun emplacement behind several crates, and it's just blasted. Several cultists are suddenly upon you. Okay, we can fight, try to free yourself through force, which uses our non-existent fighting skill. Or we could use our best skill, observation, to try to get to the exit and run away.
Oh, we know which one we're picking.
Yep.
We started this Scooby-Dooing, we're gonna end this Scooby-Dooing.
That's right. Success! Thanks to Smith's cover, you have enough time to pick out the best route by which to reach the exit. You close the trap door and pull the trunk back over it, weighing it down with the other boxes and random objects. You walk away quickly, not just for your own safety, but to get away from the screaming a bit muffled coming from underground. Smith is at your side, following you silently. Oh, good. I thought for a moment we were locking Smith down there, because he was laying down covering fire. I'm like, what are we doing?
Just leave Smith to die to the cultists.
Well, apparently we didn't, so that's nice. I don't know exactly how that worked, though. Like, how can Smith both cover us and then also be climbing up a ladder with a machine gun? I don't know.
Fires it behind him wildly as he goes. You can climb with one hand.
You are definitely not celebrating. You've done something truly terrible, have we? You were consoled, however, by the thought that you have put an end to their plan for world domination via the spread of disease. Slowly limping with pain, you walk away towards the docks from the docks with Smith. Aftermath. It says we've finished chapter 2. How many chapters are there? Okay. It says that we were able to destroy the cult. We did it. Cult destroyed, baby. No more cult. Aftermath. Big Ben stands black against the night, and just beyond it there is an outline of Parliament piercing the sky with its spires. London is never silent, but at night the usually cacophonous voice of the city is muted, and your footsteps echo and reverberate through its alleyways and mews. You are imagining disturbing shadows reaching down from the firmament, as if some dark entity were trying to strangle your city, heinous fingers searching for a throat. Captain, you have already risked so much for me. I think the time has come for our paths to diverge. I do not know how I shall ever be able to express my gratitude. Your help exceeded all expectations on my part. You murdered, 50 dudes. Just because I told you they were in a cult. Which you had no proof of. Also, you stole a prototype weapon to do so.
He said no questions asked. He meant no questions asked.
Yeah, he's a real one, Captain Smith. I still do not know what it is you were mixed up in, Jake, but there was not a single moment that I ever questioned your loyalties. You saved my son's life, and tonight perhaps you have saved much more than that. I do not regret for a moment making you that promise in Suez. He looks at you intensely for a moment, smiles, shakes your hand warmly, and then you part ways in silence. Why do we have to part ways?
He's got to go back to his kid. Babysitting's costs a lot of money.
Well, I mean, we've been hitting on men this entire game. We could just, we could both raise the kid, right? He didn't have a wife either. That's why he was bringing the kid to war.
I mean, in a way, you're right. Also, would you want to be around Jake Huntington?
No.
With a kid?
No, I wouldn't want to be around Jake Huntington in general. He seems like he's got some problems. You believe that you are free of the cult, but is it really so definite? What if there are other surviving branches? Furthermore, what happened at the docks will come to light. Will the police be able to deduce your involvement in some way? Perhaps via the fact that you used a prototype weapon of which there's only one of in the world? So that people could trace it back? Some former military captain who stole it?
True that.
Maybe you're just being paranoid, but it would probably be a good idea to disappear for a while. So we could go home, or we could go to the train station.
We spent a lot of time not wanting to be around our own house. We went to an entire other country not to be around our house. So let's go to the train station.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
time for us to go.
You don't stop running until you get to Victoria. Dang, we are in a hurry. Feel a measure of relief. It's a very big station and the perfect place to disappear without a trace. You buy a ticket for the first available train the moment the ticket office opens. You walk away from the ticket office and look for an inconspicuous place to wait for your train, somewhere where you have less chance of being seen. Finally, the first morning train makes its appearance at Victoria Station. You show your ticket to the conductor, who tells you your carriage and seat number. You have no trouble finding it and take your seat a few minutes before departure. Oh, nice. We're on time. We're punctual. As the train leaves the platform, it begins to rock rhythmically. You feel every muscle in your body slowly relaxing, finally giving way to a sense of relieved calm. All of a sudden, you realize you didn't even look at the destination on your ticket and reach to your pocket. Apparently, you're on your way to Liverpool. All right.
You just...
Let's see what. Something got added to our notes. Where's our notes? Where are you notes? Oh, we've got our guns back, apparently. Apparently we picked up our guns as we ran away. We now have our guns again. They let us on the train with them. It's a different time. Waves of Serenity. The train is hurtling through the beautiful English countryside. It's been quite some time since you left behind the smoky black streets of the capital for the luscious green fields and pleasant sloping hills around it all. The train has already stopped a number of times at every passing station And despite your outward attempts at nonchalance, you've been throwing glances at the faces of the people boarding for anything which could be constructed as suspicious. Like maybe if they weren't wearing a shirt, or if they were wearing a mask that made them look like a goblin. Each time it happens, you curse yourself in this involuntary and increasing paranoia.
Jake Huntington cannot handle people with kilts.
Yes, it's a problem. It's like, well, I got on the train in a boat, and and it turns out I'm going to Scotland. Whoa! Oh. See, the map has said we're now in Liverpool, so I guess we're now in Liverpool. Several hours go by before the train reaches the last stop, but then you finally hear the whistle announcing the final stop, Liverpool Central Station. Get off the train and hasten to leave the station, still with the horrible feeling of being constantly observed. Oh, that's just the United Kingdom's surveillance state. Don't worry about it. 8 experience points.
Before that.
Going to Liverpool gives you 8 experience points. All right. You know what that means? We get to level up observation again. We've almost maxed out our observation.
Nice.
Okay.
That's super useful because it's the only thing that's kept us alive.
Yes. Leaving the station and walking the streets of the city, you soon detect the acrid smell of the Mersey. Heading in its direction, you pass vast throngs of people of different ethnicities, coming and going. Liverpool only officially became a city 20 years previous, and thanks to its busy port, has been expanding constantly ever since. You managed to leave London and get quite a distance from it, but you wonder if it'll be enough. Well, you've never been to Liverpool, and everything around you is new and unknown. You still feel as if there are people staring at you in the crowd. Maybe it's the fact that you didn't go home, and your shirt is covered in blood from all the people you murdered.
It is the fact that you're carrying, like, a sack full of guns with you.
Yeah, maybe. The best solution is to leave England and get as far away as possible, and it seems like you're in the right place to board any ship at all and disappear. You can easily pay your way by working aboard. Port is huge, and like the one in London, filled with workers, sailors, and crowds of all kinds. Looking down towards the dock, you can see so many masts that it looks like a forest. Scanning the chaos, you make out what looks like a merchant. He's barking orders left and right, and something about his bearing reminds you of Captain Smith. Oh. You go up to him and speak. I guess I'll give him the same voice. What do you want, boy? Don't waste my time. I'm busy. The beautiful beard, though. Okay. I would like to board your ship. Really? And who the devil are you? Okay. My name is Jake Huntington. I'm looking for a job as a ship doctor. My name is Jake Huntington. I'm looking for a job as a cabin boy, sir. My name is Jake Huntington. I'm looking for a job as assistant cook captain.
Cooks will get you killed. We've already found that out. Being a cook is an instant death. So, a doctor has been kept us alive. Let's be a doctor.
All right. Well, how about that? I'm getting a crew back together right now for my next voyage. Get ready, we're leaving today. I don't need to see your credentials or any information. You say you're a doctor, that's good enough for me. Alright, we're back in the ocean. Okay, seriously, we've destroyed the cult that was creating the plague. How is this story continuing? What is going on?
What do you call it? The beach filler scene.
Oh, okay. Alright. It's the Jake Huntington in his sexy swimsuit. You're sailing west with the merchant ship Serenity under Captain Francis J. Elian. Elian. We'll go Elian. The first leg of the voyage will take you to New Bedford in North America. Oh no, we're going to America. Bad idea. Well, it still says our profession's medical researcher. We're a ship doctor now. Come on. You met a new character, it says. Francis J. Elian, captain of the Serenity, ship in which you decided to embark in disguise. Are we really in disguise? We're like, hello, my name's Jake Huntington, a doctor. I have experience working with plagues. Can I join your boat?
Oh man, it's actually way more funny than that because all they had to do is like look up the name and find out that we've recently like harassed the College of Medicine.
Oh, true. Yeah, that was in another country, but yeah. As you were able to intuit from the moment you met him, Elyen knows you're hiding something, but also that as long as you do your job well without making a fuss, he won't pry into your affairs. He didn't give a shit. Murdered a cult? Who hadn't, really?
This boat is full of people who are dodging, you know, like tax evasion and stuff. You're just another person here.
You've been at sea for some days already, and once again you are surrounded by a vast and changing expanse of blue. Been assigned a small cabin and a medical kit. So far your job's been fairly easy, limited to treating and bandaging small wounds, and dealing with minor stomach complaints or hangovers. Alright, we got a new item. We have a medical kit. That's right, ship's doctor kit. Nice. There are not many opportunities for conversation, but there's a small library assembled by your predecessors on board, and so you spend a great deal of time reading. New journal entry? Okay, it just says we're the ship's doctor. Great, thanks, journal entry. As you fall into a routine, your days at sea become identical. You spend the day busy with your tasks and usually fall asleep the moment you get to your bunk. Over the last few days, however, you've had moments of utter exhaustion. On these occasions, you've noticed some disturbing effects on your vision. You've seen or imagined strange shadows on the edge of your visual field. You cannot put it down to mere fatigue or to the effects of the strong sun bearing down on you when you are on deck. There is something else. In your mind, you connect it to the paranoia you were experiencing before your departure. That your board workload has helped you to forget. You're having nightmares again, though fortunately for now you forget what they were about the moment you wake up, but they give you a sense of unease which continues the whole day. The little you can remember consists of dark and weird shapes rising up like sea monsters from the black abyss. You try to conceal your gloomy animus from the crew and to concentrate not only on your daily tasks, but another terrible thought lies in the back of your mind. What if these latest symptoms, the dark feelings and strange hallucinations, are not just a result of your paranoia in Delft and London, but a sign you really did catch the disease in Zanzibar? Uh-huh.
Did we already know we got the disease?
Yeah, you're just now figuring this out, my dude? It's night, and despite your exhaustion, you can't sleep. You therefore decide to go up on deck to feel the freshness of the evening on your face. Met a new character. Who? Adair Medina, experienced sailor on the Serenity. He knows several stories and maritime legends, which he loves to terrorize his companions. You suspect history is a pirate. Okay, great. There you find some men gathered in a circle, passing around a bottle of rum and listening to stories. Adair Medina, the wiry Argentine, is holding court, amusing himself by scaring the younger members of the crew with tall tales of unthinkable, abominable creatures hidden in the depths of the South Seas. Okay, we can hear his story, or we can just say no and go back to bed.
Let's hear a story. We got time to fill.
When the sea is shaken by tropical storms, or when you are lost in a natural fog, well, that's when you start to worry. Maybe you think you know your ship, think you know how to deal with storms or whatever else the ocean can throw at you, but in truth, that's when you will find out that you know nothing about the things which live under the water or how great their appetites. I was serving on a brig. It must have been 7 years ago now, when I saw one myself. I It was an awful storm, and all of a sudden I saw a giant tentacle rising up above the mainmast, and then a giant and fearful shape emerging from the water beneath it. For a few moments, we were completely in its shadow. Then, luckily, we were swept away from that terrifying thing by the fury of the storm. There's a murmuring amongst the men, and someone tries to make light of the story. A sure sign that the story really did frighten them. Haha. I'm sure that tentacle fried up to make some good calamari, huh? Ha 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 ha. Huh? Surely it wasn't that bad because you're still here, haha. When the storm finally calmed, we saw damage on the sides of the ship that no wave could have caused, as if something enormous had had us tightly in its clutches, for ripping chunks from the hull. And afterwards, there were 5 men missing. Captain wrote in his log that they had fallen into the sea, but then we found body parts in the rigging. An arm, a part of a torso, as if something had chewed them to pieces. We got an achievement for listening to the story. Uh-huh. Okay.
Jake Huntington, meandering through countries now.
Now there's silence in the starless night. Someone's taking a long slug of rum, so we can say, yes, everything Medina said is fully true, and I endorse it, the ship's doctor. Or we can say, that was a bunch of malarkey.
If we side with Medina, he probably would be, an ally, since every time that we side with somebody, they're instantly our friend.
It's true.
Let's get a new friend going.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt in your philosophy, says Hamlet. But perhaps Shakespeare had not known the ocean, or he would have said more. Thanks. I'm sorry, Mr. Huntington, sir, but I feel like if you're trying to, connect to a bunch of laborers on a ship, maybe you shouldn't be quoting Shakespeare at them. Just throwing that out there. Maybe that's setting the wrong tone.
Oh. Yeah, but our guy's an asshole, so.
The other crew members look at you as if you were a strange creature. You laugh it off, blaming it on too much dodgy rum. Your reference to rum seems to convince the other sailors, who decide to drink more. You decide that, of course, it was just the rum that made you believe Medina's ridiculous tale, and there's laughter all around. All right, we can leave now, or we can stay on the bridge and probably drink some more.
Let's stay on the bridge. So, I think Jake Huntington probably isn't doing so well if he's alone.
You stay on deck, enveloped by the darkness of the night. Medina's story disturbed you more than you would care to admit. Around you, there's only the sound of the waves, the wind in the sails, and the faint creaking of the lantern you're carrying. You walk carefully, checking each step as you go. There's a strong wind swirling around the masts and flapping the sails. A strong gust almost puts you off balance. Something about it seems more than just wind, more of a presence. You detect a shadow moving at your side. Then you feel a sensation like a scratch on your leg as another shadow whips past you. When you turn around and hold up your lamp, there's nothing there. You walk back towards your cabin. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch the quick movement of a shadow, then another. Suddenly you find yourself surrounded, dozens of figures closing in on you. They look like shadows, but at the same time they seem to have a certain density. They have a vaguely human form, but the proportions appear deformed, with unnaturally lengthened limbs. They appear to have claws instead of fingertips. Okay.
Oh, this isn't a dream. We're actually being attacked by something, right?
Who knows? We've had dreams before.
Uh,
You see them coming up over the sides of the ship, over the railings, down from the mast and along the bridge. Getting closer from every direction, you hear a low, ominous snarl. Oh, good. Well, we once again have the two decisions that we're going to fail. We can fight by trying to bonk them on the head with our lantern, or we can use agility to try to run below deck. Gotta go well.
well, we know full well that we are the slowest doctor on Earth, so I guess attempting to fight is our only real option.
Yeah, hopefully we can, like, set the entire ship on fire by, like, breaking the lantern or something. Failure! Shadows are upon you. You raise your arms and swing the lantern, but to no effect. You can feel them touching you, pouncing on you. Lantern falls to the deck and breaks, shooting flames at all directions. Good, we did. You're still lowered on the bridge.
Fire will cleanse this.
You are still lowered on the bridge as the flames begin to rise. You close your eyes, overwhelmed by abject terror. Your head is spinning and you feel weak, and then you lose consciousness. Hey, I thought you could hold your rum. Medina's voice penetrates your skull and into your mind. You slowly open your eyes to look around. There's a group of sailors, including Medina and Elian, the captain. Give him space. Can you stand up? You nod and stand up. You brush it off as a momentary feeling of faintness, and suddenly you remember the flames. Don't worry, we put them out. Get to your cabin. Let's see if a night's sleep will sort you out. Thank the captain. Say goodnight to the sailors who help you back to your bunk. Lying in your hammock, you think back to the shadows on deck and wonder with a shiver if something there had really been anything, if it were just a dreadful hallucination. Huh?
Those sailors are like very, very trustworthy or like accepting, considering you tried to burn the boat down, and they're just like, yeah, we put the fire out. We get you drunk.
Yeah, we've all been there. We all had a bender and tried to set the boat on fire. That's just normal. The Serenity has docked in New Bedford, its first port of call. It will only be a short break. You will have to depart again only a few hours later. Elian calls you into his cabin. You have no idea why you might have been called, but it did not take long to find out. You were very drunk and tried to burn down the boat. No, wait. The captain wishes to ask a favor of you, the most trustworthy man on the crew.
Oh, damn it.
I need the substance indicated on this note. Here at the port, there's a man who can procure it, but I need someone to verify its authenticity. Since you're a doctor, I think you should be able to tell if it's real or not. This is the money you will need. And then gives you some banknotes. You've disembarked and now walking through the harbor. You are now far away from London, Zanzibar, and the cold. The madness of your own life is beginning to seem like a hazy dream. Despite the hustle and bustle of the small town harbor, you're beginning to relax. Cold air is nippy but fresh. Alright, we have a new item, a bunch of money. Elian has entrusted you to recover your serpent substance. It's an important mission, and probably not very legal. Will you be able to complete it? Oh, you better believe it, buddy. We're gonna complete this mission. You're even thinking of abandoning the merchant ship and settling here for a while. So
take the money and run.
So we can either go to the harbor shop and find the substance that the captain asked for, or we can just go get drunk again.
Really? That's our options are either, you know,
Our options are do the mission or go have a drink. So.
Oh, Jay Continue, what has become of you?
Look, you murder a cult, your priorities change, you know?
Yeah. I guess we are still a man of honor, right? Is that what this is? We're still doing like the right thing? Because, I mean, we probably should do the mission.
All right. I mean, nothing like doing some crimes, right?
Everything he's done has been a crime of one type or another. We
Despite your
started out with war,
despite your plan
and
to
now it's
abandon
petty.
the ship, you decide to first go and find what Captain Elian asked you to get. What? Okay. Apparently, we're going to abandon the ship either way. Great. You read the note. It's an opium derivative, a strong painkiller. Now you understand the captain's reticence in speaking of it. No doubt he suffers from chronic pain and needs this substance for relief. Yes, he's definitely not a druggie. You follow the directions on the note and find yourself in a shop in the harbor that sells just about everything. Approach the owner and make your request. I know this substance. The man looks at you suspiciously until you explain that you are buying it on behalf of the captain of the Serenity. The man nods and asks you to follow him to the back of the shop. When you get there, it's dark and dusty. Shopkeeper wants to see the money first. Okay, we could use our speechcraft to convince him to show us the product before we show him the money, or we could just flash our fat stacks.
We didn't take in speechcraft. You did not use it.
Success. I have the money, but I want to see what I am paying for first. Man grunts and opens a piece of cloth to show you the organic material inside. So we can use our medicine to check that it's really the substance we need, or we can just pay the man. It's like, well, yeah, this is a very suspect package. Sounds like what I'm here for.
Yeah, we're medicine. Oh man.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna succeed the medicine check, but I guess we should at least try. Yep, failed. Get a better look at the product, ignoring the shopkeeper is trying to hide his obvious frustration. You remain unsure of the product and raise your eyes to look at the seller. He's getting nervous. He wants the money, but you need more time if you want to be certain of the product. First he starts cursing, but then falls silent if he's weighing up the cost of upsetting the first-time buyer versus profit from the sale. Eventually the former wins and he chases you angrily out of the shop. You were not able to complete Captain Elliot's assignment. You feel a great sense of frustration at the idea the captain will think you untrustworthy. You begin to reevaluate your plan of settling here.
Hey, is this stuff real? Get out of my place.
You must return and report to the captain. You have, however, been at sea for quite some time and are considering the idea of taking the load off your feet and having a quick drink. So we can go back to the ship and report, or we can have a quick drink.
Now it's an actual tough thing. I was like, oh, we can do it. No. Now we're actually we are poor guy. He's having such a time. They want us to have a drink. Let's have a drink.
All right, let's have a drink. Into the nearest of the harbor taverns. Even though it's the middle of the day, the place is filled with men killing time for their next departure by drinking at a rapid pace. You order a pint of beer and sit down to reflect further on the possibility of leaving the Serenity and starting a new life here. It is very tempting. You could consume a new identity, forget about all the troubles of Delft and London, and the disease. Suddenly, you hear shouting behind you. Two drunken, red-faced sailors are arguing about something. Others join in the discussion. Before long, somebody throws a punch. Pandemonium breaks out, and you see a man picked up and slammed down right onto the table where you're sitting. Your beer is sent flying and smashes on the floor. Oh my god. Not our beer. So we can try to give medical aid to the man who is thrown through the table. We can just get up and leave. Or we can like try to be a badass and just like sit there and do nothing until the fight's over.
Are we still doctor?
I mean, in theory, but our medicine sucks because we've been putting everything in observation and speechcraft. We stopped our medical training about halfway through this game.
I guess we should attempt to help him. But...
All right.
We took some sort of oath, I think.
You lean over the man. He seems dazed. First thing you do is move him to a safer part of the room, but as you're trying to do this, a glass smashes into your forehead, filling your face with blood and beer. We're injured. Ow.
Oh, good. That's what we needed to do. Get injured.
So now we can leave, or we can just hang out. Like, we can... Our attempts to aid this man didn't work out too well, so now we have the other two options.
Let's go. We're we just keep constantly getting beat up the whole time.
Yeah, alright. Try to pick your way out of the tavern, avoiding the flying drinks and stools. You almost get to the door when someone grabs your shoulder from behind. You can smell the alcohol on his breath. Oh, good. We can use our fighting to turn and punch the guy, or we can use agility to get out of his clutches. This is going great for us.
We're gonna get punched. We have no agility, like 0 agility.
Yeah.
We're gonna use our 1 fighting point to try to make this work.
Hey, we have 2 fighting points. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
We fail. You turn and throw a punch, but despite the man's drunkenness, he managed to swerve and headbutt you in the face. You were stunned for a moment, your nose throbbing painfully. Man appears content with his work and wanders off to fight someone else. Been injured again. We are now injured, according to our health screen.
This comes. I like how we were obviously leaving, and he comes to just socks us for just the hell of it.
Yeah. You're heading again towards the door where you see Medina in the midst of the action. He's swinging wildly in all directions and shouting in Spanish, obviously more than a little intoxicated. Despite this, his punches seem clean and effective. He seems quite used to brawling in bars. He's bleeding profusely, however. We can try to tend to his wounds, or we can just keep leaving.
Is this a friend of ours? Who's Medina?
Medina was the guy who told the spooky story on the deck.
Oh, yeah, we sided with him already. Let's keep siding with him.
Go over to help out your shipmate. You knock the man to the ground who's about to attack Medina from behind. Then you stand beside him. You flatten 3 more men before the fight finally calms down a little. Medina looks at you and then laughs abruptly. Then he puts his arm around your shoulder and walks with you out of the bar. Medina's still excited from the fight and he holds you tightly. Also because he doesn't appear to be too steady on his feet. He's in a bad state. His face especially is covered in cuts and bruises. So we can use our medicine to try to treat the cuts, or the other option is don't worry about his cuts. He must be used to having all those over his face. Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Jake Huntington, kind of an asshole. Yeah. Let's try to help him.
Yeah, surely with even our shitty medical skill, we could bandage up some cuts. We did succeed. Good. You offer to treat Medina's cuts. He acts like it's nothing and says not to worry about it, but then he winces with pain and reluctantly lets you treat him. You have to sit down in a quiet spot a little further down the road. You go over his wounds, trying to assess the extent of his injuries. Carefully clean them as best you can for now, making a better note to have a better look at them later when you have the right equipment. We do have the right equipment. We have in our inventory. Our inventory says we have the ship's doctor bag. Yeah.
Yeah, we should actually have the medical equipment right now.
You're walking back to the ship through the streets of New Bedford, thinking that after what happened at the tavern, you're not so taken with the idea of stopping here. It's not so much the fight as the realization it will only ever be a temporary superficial solution. Brief honeymoon period. The pain would return. Better to keep moving. Okay? I mean, your plan is to hide out. Anywhere you hide out will be a hideout, my man. Walk up to the Serendity's gangway. As soon as you're on deck, you run into Captain Ellion, who looks at you anxiously. Well? After a moment's hesitation, you confess to Captain Ellion that you were unable to procure what he asked of you. I was wrong to trust you. He looks at you with utter contempt and disappointment, then walks off, shouting orders in all directions. We have failed an achievement. Mission accomplished. Well, I don't want to get a mission accomplished on a boat. That has some bad connotations, thanks to George W. Bush. It's nice. It's a nice punch at the shadow that we definitely failed at.
Well, it is punching him in the face.
It's true. Mist is the name of the next section. New Bedford's now a thin line on the horizon. He set sail hours ago on the course for Central America. The captain has modified the course a little to try to bypass a strange fog, which was straight in front of you. Love a strange fog.
Oh, he let us back on the boat?
Yeah. He didn't. He's like, I was wrong to trust you. Now please take care of my crew. Bye.
Yeah.
Though a little crude, your traveling companions are not half as bad as you thought at first, and the memories of the past year almost seem to belong to someone else. Your decision to continue traveling was no doubt the right one. Okay. You come across Medina on deck. He's walking strangely. Clearly your provisional treatment hadn't been up to scratch. Oh, great. Okay. We can try to do more medicine on him. Or we can say, run into some fiery wench on the shore, eh? I guess suggesting that he has an STD now? That's why he's walking funny? I don't know what that means.
God, we are an asshole. Let's medicine him, I guess. Better than that than get a punch in the face for calling him out.
Yeah. Alright, medicine it is. We failed. Proceed with him to come to you to the sick bay. With the right equipment, you can now try to make a good job of it. He has composed. We can tell from the way he looks at the medical equipment that he is secretly afraid of doctors. So occasionally you just jump out and spook him over and over again for the rest of the journey.
Teach him to not have apples.
Yeah. His shaking makes it difficult to treat him properly. He is still risking infection, but on reflection, you suppose a couple days of fever might even calm him down a little? What the hell, man? Being sick will be good for him. It's a good thing.
God, we are just the worst doctors. God, man.
You were leaving the poop deck. Oh, the poop deck. Oh, dang. Oh, it's so funny. Nautical terms. And walking towards the bow when you see a steamship in the distance. It appears strangely motionless as if adrift. Perhaps they need help. Yeah. Alert the captain or ignore the steamer. We don't have a lookout? Surely the captain already knows about this boat. Or is the crew really that incompetent here?
They're all sick, and we're making it worse.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Well, do we want to talk about the ghost ship? I'm sure that's going to turn out well for us.
I think if we don't talk about the ghost ship, it's probably going to be the end of us, with as injured as we are.
Alright. We'll alert the captain. Captain, I've just seen a ship which looks to be adrift. They may require our aid. Elian takes out his telescope, leans on the rail, and observes the ship. Then he shouts an order. Hard to starboard! You immediately change course and begin approaching the steamer. As the steamer gets bigger and bigger, you have a strange premonition. Suddenly, the steamer turns on its engines, and its brow turns to face you. Then pulls out his telescope again and looks at the steamer. Hard turn! Hard turn! The ship is full of armed men! Pirates! Great. Serenity will be unable to sustain a high-speed collision with such a large steamship. It's getting closer by the minute, and if they catch you, your small cargo ship would be easy prey. There are not enough weapons on board to defend yourselves against such an enemy. Despite everyone working frantically, the pirates are still closing in. Sudden whistle and a crack of splintering wood. They've started firing. Okay, we can...
With what, cannons?
I guess, I don't know. So we can either arm ourselves, or we can use our speechcraft to convince Elian to head into the fog to try to lose them.
Well, the spacecraft will probably succeed. What do you think? Is the fog worse than getting attacked by pirates?
Well, we know the fog is probably full of those shadow creatures, so that's always fun.
I think I'll take the shadow creatures.
And I also feel like we won't win a fight anyway, so...
That's very true. We're carrying a bag of guns. We're definitely not armed for this.
Success. Captain, we won't survive a direct attack. We have to get into the fog bank. It's our only chance. Captain looks at you and thinks for a moment. Then he looks at the pirates and lets the thick bank of fog. His face tells you he's not keen on the idea. He recognizes it might be your only chance of survival. He also ordered to change directions again. And that gives us some experience points, so guess what? We've maxed out observation.
Yeah.
We are the most observant person in the world. Of course, we are literally incapable of doing anything with that observation. You changed.
If we could only just, we'd be unstoppable if we could use observation for every fight.
Yeah, right. The change of direction confuses the steamship, giving you a chance to put a small distance between yourself and it. Heading straight into the large bank of fog and looking around, you see Medina mumbling something and crossing himself repeatedly. Neither do the men look happy about the decision, but since the steamship has corrected course and is once again in pursuit, no one protests. Turn back to look at the men on the steamship. You borrow an eyeglass to get a better look at them, and what you see freezes your blood. The men with the eye all have their forearms tattooed with the eye symbol of the cult. They're all the evil Count Olaf. Could it be an absurd coincidence, or have they been on your tail all this time? This is just a real popular, it's a real popular piece of flash. It's just up in every tattoo parlor. It doesn't mean anything.
It's a tap out of tattoos.
Yeah. The pirates, or rather the cultists, we've already changed their names, are preparing to attack. While some continue shooting, others are preparing rope lines to board any minute now. However, the first wisps of the fog are already enveloping the Serenity. Okay, we can help defend the ship, or we could just go hide.
What skills are those?
Neither. Neither of them have skills attached. It just says defend the ship or find refuge.
Well, if we defend the ship, we'll have to fight, and we know we're not winning that, so we're gonna play hide and seek.
Yeah, you'd be like, I'm gonna set up a place for triage. Bye. If cultists really are after you specifically, then you need to hide. You run for cover, even though you might suspect it's pointless. It might give you a little time, but if the cultists take control of the Serenity, sooner or later they will find you. In the open sea, there's nowhere to run. Just before you go below deck, you turn and assess the situation, but the steamship has disappeared. Noise continues, but it's muffled. Everything has been enveloped in thick fog. Even the far end of the bridge of the Serenity is getting difficult to see. Serenity is now drifting undisturbed in eerily silent fog. There's no trace of the steamship. The sound of its engine, the shouts of its crew have fallen silent. Crewmates, too, are now silent and tense. And not for fear of the steamship. The surrounding atmosphere is surreal and disquieting. There's silence full of anticipation. Everyone seems to convinced that whatever's about to happen it won't be pleasant. Alright. Medina's speaking in Spanish. Let's see if I can remember my high school Spanish class to pronounce this correctly. Sorry if I don't. Estamos entrando en las fauces de un monstruo. You don't understand Medina's words, but the terror on his face is perfectly intelligible. It's almost as if time itself has frozen. The fog has become thicker, and now it is impossible to see more than 6 feet ahead in any direction. Sound, too, has been muffled. You know the captain is shouting orders from close by, but they seem distant, as if coming from another world. Everyone on deck for a head count. I need to know how many we lost. A drop of water lands on your forehead, and then you see another between your feet on the deck of the bridge. It starts raining. The crew assemble on deck. Somebody stumbles and swears, luckily knocking into someone else. Ay, Dios mío! You are standing immobile, as if petrified on the bridge. I don't know which direction to go, and the rain's getting heavier. So we can try to reach the others, or we can just continue to stand perfectly still.
In the rain? Or...
Yeah, just in the rain on the bridge. Just stand there.
We'll find the others. That feels like that's going to be way better off than just standing there.
You decide to try to reach the others, but you've completely lost your orientation. You know you're somewhere on the bridge. You can hear the voices of others, but through the fog and rain, it's unclear where they're coming from. The sea begins to stir. Suddenly the ship is shaken, as if by a large wave or a collision with a reef. Or the pirate ship. You ascertain it's not the pirate ship, and it can't be a reef. You're too far from the coast. It's a wave, and another hits the side of the ship. You see Medina tossed by its force into a railing in front of you. Okay, agility, try to help him. Observation, look for something with which to help him. Obviously, we have maximum observation. We are the master of observation. We're going to find something. Not even a choice. Success. You look around as best you can in the fog, and you see a rope a little distance away. Scramble over to get it and throw it to Medina. He catches hold of it, and you pull him across the bridge. Just skiing across the bridge. Whee! Another wave bursts over the side of the ship and hits Medina, but he is able to hold on. If it hadn't been for you, he would have gone over the railing and into the sea. In these conditions, that would have meant certain death. There are unnatural sounds in the fog in addition to the screams of sailors. There's something weird going on. You start feeling this is no ordinary storm. Quick, everyone to their stations. We must gain control of the ship. We did have a dream about this, I think. I guess it was prophetic. I think we did anyway. Let's see our notes. A nightmare to forget. Yeah, let's see. Monstrous tentacles against your boat. Might this be the first symptoms that you two have contracted the illness? Okay. Well, it was a different boat, I guess. What are you gonna do? Now the captain emerges from the wall and yelling and waving his arms. He's trying to encourage the crew to action, to help him deal with the situation. Another larger wave hits the deck, knocking Elian down and dragging him away. Bye, Captain. Oh no. As soon as the wave recedes, you go over to see what has happened to him. You find some distance away. You find him covered in blood with eyes popping. First you don't understand, but then you see a wave has impaled him onto a loading hook.
Oh.
See its point protruding from his sternum, and you realize he has mere seconds to live. The water remaining on the bridge turns red with blood. Madre de Dios. Medina, white-faced and terrified, is next to you, also staring at your dead captain. You hear him retch, and you turn away so as not to see him throwing up. Ship shudders again. You hear a queer noise. The gays are here. Next time you turn around, Medina is gone, disappeared into the fog. The screaming around you is lessened, but the ship rocks more violently. Start moving in the fog, looking for other crew members, but now there's only silence, and the ship appears empty, as if abandoned. With a jolt, there's a shriek of tearing as you were thrown overboard. You manage to resurface despite the ferocity of the waves. If you don't act quickly, you'll die. We can just tread water, or we can use our observation to search for something that can save us, and you know what we're doing. We're observing, baby. Full observation.
Full observation.
You are thrashing your arms, keeping your head out of the water to look around. You can see a large shape in the water ahead of you. With great effort, you manage to get close to it. It's a portion of the bridge. Last of your strength, you pull yourself out of the water. You're desperately clinging to this piece of wood tossed around in the waves of the storm. You have no idea how long you've been holding on to this fragment of the serenity. Even after a while, the storm calms and the fog begins to clear. You're weak from hunger and dehydration. Your grip on the wood begins to relax, and only then do you notice the pain in your hands. It's your final thought before exhaustion carries you away into sleep. It's a great place to sleep. A place to call home. Yeah, yeah.
The chapter name?
Yeah, let's, yeah, this, now it's just gonna be Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's like,
We get saved by a raccoon that puts us in massive debt.
just gonna build a town on this island. When you open your eyes, you are already coughing violently. You feel hard, cold sand beneath you. When your vision comes into focus, you immediately see a face looking down at you. A dark-skinned woman is watching you with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. She has long black hair, and her face seems to balance sweetness and strength. Some effort, you manage to sit up and look around. There's no trace of your ship or your crew. Captain Elian, Medina, all the others, probably dead. Woman is still watching you with intense curiosity, perhaps even a hint of suspicion. About to smile when her expression transforms again. In a single skillful movement, she twirls around a spear, pointing its sharp tip at your throat. Tu es l'un des ratos? She speaks French. Having studied French in the university, you understand her fairly well, but there's a word in her question you don't understand, a word that doesn't even sound like French. You answer, trying to pronounce words to the best of your ability. Okay. We can go, don't kill me, I've been shipwrecked. Help. Ah. Or we can say, I don't understand what you asked, but there's no need for a weapon. Neither of these are speechcraft checks.
Oh, good.
This is just
to know that we're...
Yeah.
I guess the second one, at least it makes it seem less, sad.
Then a swift rotation of the spear, she hits you with the shaft. I'll decide if I need my weapon. Who are you? I am British. I was on a cargo ship which was sunk by a storm. We'll go with that. We'll go with storm. The woman is perplexed. She looks like she's trying to understand if you're lying. There are no storms here. I passed out and found myself at the mercy of the waves. I do not know how long. Look at me. The woman continues scrutinizing you. Although she does not seem entirely convinced, she slowly lowers her spear. She then helps you stand. You are unsteady on your feet, but you are thankful you can even stay upright. Recent events have taken their toll. You're hungry. Your throat is still burning. She beckons you to follow her and then walks off towards the jungle, which begins immediately behind the beach. She's guiding you through the dense vegetation of the jungle, holding your hand with a grip so tight that you doubt that you would be able to break free even if you were not in your current debilitated state. She's just holding your hand so hard. After a few hundred meters, the jungle gives way to a clearing, and in it a small village. As you approach, the villagers immediately stop their activities and turn to stare at you, exchanging surprised comments among themselves. The woman still holding your hand, dragging you through the village. She speaks again, but not in French. You cannot understand a single word she's saying, and you feel very confused. Finally, she stops, turns to you, and goes back to speaking in French. My name is Ayata. My name is Ayata. This is my village. Many of the other villagers start crowding around. You begin to feel somewhat apprehensive. The adrenaline produced by waking in such strange circumstances is suddenly overpowered by your fatigue, and you feel your knees giving way. Ayata props you up, stopping you from falling. You wonder if you will faint, realizing your hunger and thirst levels are reaching critical levels. Sitting on the floor of a hut, Nayata is bringing you food. There are very strange tropical fruits and wooden bowls filled with food you don't recognize. You waste no time asking what they are, though, and begin eating and drinking with gusto. Nayata is still sitting next to you. Still looking at you inquisitively. She seems cheerful, as if the mere sight of you amuses her. Then her expression changes, and suddenly she becomes serious. Okay, we can say, "What's the matter? Is it them?" Or we can just continue eating and smiling like a dope.
Them? Them who? The villagers?
I don't know. I assume the cultists, but it doesn't really give any indication of that.
You know what? I'm curious enough to ask. Let's see who them is.
This village is not free. Since they came, we have had no freedom. We do whatever they want us to do, and every month they come here to take one of us away. No one has ever come back. Who are they? Foreigners. They have weapons and they do things, strange things. All the villagers are scared of them, scared that they will put a curse on us or worse, so they can do whatever they want to us and no one protests. You're intrigued. It's certainly a strange story, and you have many questions, but there's then a young boy about 12 years old enters the hut and comes close. Ayata smiles. Jake, this is the village chief's son, Farah Tuhiava, but everybody calls him Fuego. Shake hands with Fuego, and somehow he too speaks French. So we can ask Ayata for more information about the invaders, or we can just get to know this young boy. Just be like, hey, Fuego, what's up? Tell me about yourself. Let's be buddies. Let's go play catch.
We are. Jake Huntington, friend to all children.
All right. So, you are the chief's son. You are an important person, then. My father is important, but I am only a boy for now. So we can say, well, you seem to be a rather clever boy, or are you going to follow in your father's footsteps?
Well, let's make the boy, pretty happy. Like, yeah, you're clever. You're getting places.
He said one sentence, so we can tell he's clever from that.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, the map says we are on island. Just island.
Oh, just island.
Yeah, just island. I have to be clever if I'm going to follow in my father's footsteps. You and Ayata laugh. You are very impressed by this boy. So we can encourage him by saying, I have no doubt you will. Or we can tease him by saying, I imagine you already are.
Oh. We'll encourage him. We're trying to be friendly here. I mean, it is their island. We're the one needing help.
You must be clever yourself, then. You burst out laughing again. Ayata smiles too, but her face is darkened again. Ayata stands up and looks at you, ending the conversation. Follow me. See, how's our experience points going? Now we gotta max out speechcraft here. We're working on it. Ayata suddenly walks off towards the edge of the village. You follow her and notice Fuego is walking behind you. Ayata turns and gives him a look, silently giving her consent for him to follow too. Both continue following her until you are at least 100 yards outside the village. Ayata sits with you and Fuego follows suit. Our people are terrified and superstitious, and they are completely at the mercy of these foreigners. They believe them to be something like sorcerers, but I think they're only men. I've followed them, watched them. I didn't see what they do with the people they kidnap, but I saw them performing strange rituals. What kind of rituals? I'm not sure. They meet at a cave in the middle of the forest wearing a sort of skirt and masks. They all have the same strange tattoo on their arms. It looks like an eye. I never dared to get too close, so I don't know what they actually do during the rites, but I did see that they had brought with them the men which they kidnapped from the village. You are stunned speechless. It's the cult. Here too, but how is it possible? Attempt to conceal your reaction, but Ayata watches you closely. She pauses for a moment, and Fuego looks at her. See where Ayata is going with all this. She wants to rise up against the cult, and finding no support from the people of her village, she sees you as a possible ally. You want me to help you? Ayata suddenly nods her head. Fuego does the same. They must be stopped, but our people are too afraid. I need to know what they're doing with the people taken from the village. Then either fight or escape. Then Ayata tells you about a small island nearby where the villagers could hide if things go awry. So we can stall by saying, just us two and a child? I will need to think about this. Or we could just agree and say, like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Uh, we are out to exterminate the cult in all its forms. So, but
Let's check our
do we have
inventory.
any allies? We have
Um,
guns.
yeah. Let's see. No, we have no inventory. I guess we lost it in the crash.
Dang.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. We saved Medina's life, so I assumed that he might show up at some point. But who knows?
All right. I guess we'll have to just go in and see what we can do.
Yeah, we're so good at fighting. I will agree to help you however I can. Yatha smiles. A smile that makes you feel that in another situation, another time, she would have thrown her arms around you. Fuego, though, jumps to his feet and begins to shake about in a sort of dance, accompanied by low-pitched yelps, which you assume to be a celebratory tradition of the tribe. Sure, why not? Go back to the village, crossing the short stretch of jungle in silence. The eye on the island. Okay, let's see. All right, we've met Fuego. And Ayata, whose name is spelled differently in the character sheet, the character list, which is that's a choice. She's a young, fierce, and attractive Polynesian girl. She's ready to beat up the cult. Great. You spend the entire next day with Ayata and Fuego. Fuego has taken upon himself to acquaint you with the fishing traditions of the village. It takes you to meet with a group of fishermen who have just returned from the sea. Fuego proudly teaches you the local names of the fishing equipment, as well as all the fish and other animals which fill the nets and are thrown from their boats, which are small dugout pirogues. Pirogues? Is that a boat? Pirogues? Huh? Well, apparently it
I think
is.
those are the reed ones. I don't know. I don't have a knowledge of that.
Women of the village take the catch and prepare it for a meal. We can use our agility to try to help with the fishing, which will go great. Or we can just, like, watch them and not do anything.
I think we are going to not assist with the fishing.
You watch the other men load and transport the nets. You wouldn't have any idea of how to help them, and you'd probably just have gotten in the way. I mean, that is true. You would have definitely done that.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a look as if to say not to worry, because everyone knows you're not a fisherman. Large fire is lit, and all the women are busy cleaning the fish and crustaceans caught by the men, when you notice a certain tension in the air. There are noises coming from the jungle. Ayata, wide-eyed, alerts you and Fuego. You must hide. Armed strangers with pale yet tan skin and European features enter the village and corral its inhabitants together with angry and threatening commands. They start to examine the villagers. From behind the hut where Ayata is taking you to hide, you are able to see the whole scene. You assume that they have come to kidnap somebody, as recounted by Ayata. You raise yourself up to get a little better view of what's happening, but you accidentally knock over a fishing spear that had been left leaning against the hut, making a noise. Who is that? Is someone there? He speaks in French. Another man approaches the hut where you were hiding. Ayata's frozen on the spot, but then Fuego rises to his feet and calmly walks in the clearing. You are shocked and about to say something, but Ayata gestures for you to stay silent. What do we have here? A little boy. Did you think you could hide from us? Cultist smacks Fuego's face, but the young boy hits him immediately back. Fortunately, the strike has little effect on the man, and after a second blow, Fuego is left reeling and bloody on the ground. Men of the village are immobile, terrified. Gentlemen, I'd say we already have what we came for. Man makes signals to the other cultists, and they grab Fuego's arms and start dragging him away as easily, despite his resistance. Ayata jerks forward and is about to shout, but this time it's your turn to silence her, putting your hand over her mouth. For only a second she struggles, then realizes you are right. Feel a cold tear fall on their hand, covering her mouth. Cultists leave the village, taking Fuego with them. Yay.
We're heroes.
Yeah. Fuego has been kidnapped. Yay. You're still holding Ayata, even though she stopped struggling long ago. You know full well that you could not have done anything. In fact, you probably would have just made the situation worse if you had reacted just now. Despite this awareness, you cannot help but feel like a coward. The cultists have
Good.
gone. You come out from your hiding place. You can try to justify what you did to Yasa, being like, look, they're just going to kidnap you if I let you out here. I did a good thing. Or you can just be like, we'll get him back. We'll get him back. We'll do it.
What'll get us less stabbed? Let's say we'll get her back.
How? Just us? You don't know them, what they're capable of. Not just tearful and angry. So we can either say, you asked me for help, but I'm ready, but we need to think of a plan. Or we can say, you're wrong. I know them all too well, in fact. I've been murdering these guys for like a whole year.
True. We actually do have knowledge of how to murder these guys. It doesn't require a bomb. I think we should let her in on that.
Okay. What do you mean? I have come across this cult before. The ship I was traveling on was sunk due to them. And that's enough to level up our speechcraft almost maxed.
Ooh.
Have you got any ideas then? Okay, we can try to think of something, or we can say we need some allies.
Oh, we need allies.
I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Try to come up with a plan of action. Quickly realize you don't have enough information. Where are they? I have watched them, followed them. Their camp is on the opposite side of the island, and there's a cave there where they do their rituals. You have a starting point, at least. You'll need to see it for yourself to get a better idea of the situation so you can make a plan of attack. You also need to find out if there's anyone else willing to help you, and if you and Ayata, or if you are alone. Now you just have to make a start. Alright. So we've got 3 map points on this island. Let's see. The cult's cave contained clues about their goals. Take a look. There must be someone willing to help you. Convince the villagers to follow you. Cultist camp's the best place to start your investigation. Know your enemy before you start thinking about how to knock him down.
What's the name of the cult again?
What's
What's the name of the cult again?
Yeah, let's see. It's like Hostilic cult.
Okay, so we're back to moving around the island like we did in the first chapter.
Yeah. Like we did in Zanzibar, so.
Okay. Do you want to? How much longer do we have actually?
Not too much longer, but. Do
15
we want to
minutes?
stop our
do.
investigation here? I mean, we can.
You know what? I think that might be best. That way we can start next week. In us versus the end of the cult.
Oh, fancy. Let's go to art time then. We are in art time. Yay, vacation on island with the yeah, mood. Yeah, that's exactly our it's exactly how we were on our ship. We were very sad. And we do put the mal in malpractice. We're very good at this.
Our excellent doctor who has managed to do everything but doctor.
Indeed. We're very good at this.
For our last chapter here, the last leg of our adventure with Jay Huntington, I believe that we are. Oh man. I'm glad that they finally managed to bring it back around to the cult actually being a thing, because that whole trip there was basically us drinking and going, I guess I'm gonna move. Oh no.
Yeah, this story is doing some weird stuff. I'm not sure what to say about all that, but it's just how these
uh,
things have to be, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see or how this ends. I hope that we don't end up taking any more damage though, because I think we're still injured.
Yeah, but
Uh,
what else is new? We get
that
beat
is
up all
true.
the time.
Uh, we have Jake Huntington has managed to just spend his entire time in this whole game with a black eye.
Yeah, pretty well.
Uh, yeah. So, what's our conclusion for this leg of the adventure?
Well, I think what we've learned is when you're trying to make a bomb, just throw everything on the ground and break it. You don't need
Oh,
it.
totally not necessary. Yes. Do not make bombs.
And when you're attacked by evil shadows, just set your boat on fire.
I think we've done that twice.
Basically, whenever something difficult happens, just throw whatever you have in your hands on the floor. I think is what we've been doing the entire time.
uh, Successfully create messes. I think that's our lesson for the day. It's, when in doubt, successfully create messes.
Indeed. Well,
Well,
until next time, let us contemplate what we have learned here and move on from these lessons that Mr. Huntington has taught us to become people who move through the horrors of this world by observing and Scooby Dooing.
absolutely.
Goodbye for
Uh,
now.
See you next time.